The rain had just started to fall when Cade Evans ducked beneath the rusted overhang of the bus stop, his hoodie soaked and clinging to his neck. 16 years old, orphan since he could remember, Cade had grown up drifting between foster homes in Los Angeles. He never stayed anywhere long. The same dream haunted every night, and his uncanny ability to heal from injuries faster than normal kids always unsettled those around him. Some called him cursed. Others just called the social worker. He didn't know why he could bend steel bars when angry, or why electronic devices sparked when he touched them. All he knew was that he was different. Painfully, completely different. Tonight was no different. He'd gotten into a fight at school after a senior shoved a freshman against the lockers. When Cade intervened, he threw the older boy across the hallway without even touching him. Again, the other kids looked at him like he was a freak. So he ran. Again. The bus shelter flickered with a strange blue light. Cade frowned, thinking it was a lightning strike, until a humming filled the air, low and vibrating in his chest. The rain droplets froze midair, suspended like glass beads. The world held its breath. Then the sky split. A portal tore across the air above the street, not like in movies, with glowing rings and sparks, but a rip, as though reality itself had been peeled open. Through it came a craft, angular and sleek, blacker than night with violet lights across its hull. It hovered for a moment before landing without a sound. Cade stood frozen as a tall figure emerged. Humanoid, but not quite. Its skin shimmered with an opalescent sheen, eyes glowing faintly gold. It wore armor etched with ancient runes, and when it spoke, Cade understood every word, though he was sure it wasn't English. "Prince Kalen of the Vereen Dominion," the figure said, kneeling. "Your exile is over." Cade blinked. What? More figures appeared, this time armed. Not like the night before him. These were mean-looking aliens with long rifles and sharp-edged armor. One barked in a guttural tongue, then aimed directly at Cade. The night spun, shouting something back, and a firefight erupted. Blasts of blue and red energy sizzled through the air. Cade ducked behind a trash can as the night moved faster than humanly possible, deflecting shots with a curved blade made of light. The attackers shouted, cursed, retreated, but not before one of them fired directly at Cade. The blast hit him square in the chest. He screamed, but not from pain. The energy crackled over him, but didn't burn. It surged into his body, waking something ancient, something locked deep inside. The night grabbed him by the arm. "We must leave now." Before Cade could protest, the night pulled him toward the ship. The portal reopened, and they vanished into the stars. The ship soared through a corridor of light. Cade sat in a chamber that looked like both a throne room and a science lab. Holograms floated around him. Star charts, alien scripts, a glowing sigil that pulsed when he came close. The knight introduced himself as Varric, guardian of the Vereen bloodline. "You are Kalen Vereen," Varric said, "son of Queen Sareva and Lord Drazik, warlord of the Seventh Spiral. Hidden on Earth for your safety. Until now." Cade laughed. "I think you've got the wrong guy. I'm just Cade. Cade Evans. Orphan. Nobody." Varric's eyes narrowed. "You were smuggled to Earth during the uprising against your father. He was not a kind ruler. But you carry both his strength and your mother's hope." Cade shook his head. "So I'm what? Space royalty? That's nuts." Varric didn't smile. "You are heir to an empire, but not just any empire. Drazik ruled with blood and fire. Billions feared him. When he died, rival kings and bounty clans divided his territories. Now they know his son lives. Some want to kill you, others want to control you, and a few would follow you to war." "War," Cade said. "I don't want war. I just want answers." You will get them. But first, you must survive. The ship arrived at what Varric called the Nexus, a hidden station in orbit around a dying star. There Cade trained. Days blurred into weeks as he learned the truth of his bloodline. The Varine were not merely conquerors. They had once been protectors, guardians of peace before Drazik twisted the ancient code. Cade discovered his powers weren't random. He could manipulate gravity, control energy fields, and heal rapidly. With training, he could even fly, not by propulsion but by willing himself through bends in space. He also learned that 3 factions hunted him. The first were the Krillin Syndicate, slavers and mercenaries who thrived in chaos. The second, the Velzar Imperium, a cult-like kingdom that worshipped Drazik and believed Cade should continue his father's legacy. And the third, the Renari kings, peacekeepers who wanted him dead, fearing he might become another tyrant. One night, alone in his chamber, Cade found an old hologram file, a message from his mother. She appeared in robes of shimmering silver, her voice soft but firm. If you see this, Kalen, it means I failed. Your father's war consumed everything. I sent you away because I saw a better path in you. One not forged in domination, but in unity. You are both Varine and human. Choose wisely. Cade watched it over and over. Every time, the weight in his chest grew heavier. The attack came without warning. The Nexus was breached by the Krillin Syndicate. Explosions rocked the corridors. Varric fought valiantly, holding them off while Cade and a few loyal allies fled. But Cade didn't run far. He turned back. In the chaos of warships and plasma fire, Cade unleashed his full power for the first time. A sphere of light erupted from him, disarming the invaders, crumpling their metal with gravity pulses. He didn't kill. He incapacitated. His allies called it mercy. The galaxy called it a miracle. But not everyone celebrated. The Velzar Imperium broadcast a message across the known systems. Kalen lives. The blood of Drazik burns once more. Bend the knee or be crushed. And just like that, factions began to choose sides. Some hailed Cade as a hero. Others saw him as a threat. Civil war loomed across the stars. Cade convened a council. Representatives from splinter planets, exiles, outcasts, even his father's enemies. They argued, accused, pleaded. Many wanted vengeance for what Drazik had done. Others wanted Cade to conquer his father's throne and restore order. But Cade refused both. I'm not my father, he said, and I'm not a puppet. I choose a third path, peace, not through fear, but through justice. The council erupted in dissent. Some walked out, others stayed. War seemed inevitable. That night, Varric approached him. You cannot save everyone, the knight said. But if you lead with truth, some will follow. Cade looked out the viewport, stars stretching into infinity. Then we build something new. The final battle came in the Curious Expanse, a region of collapsing stars and debris fields. The Velzar Imperium had gathered its full armada, a fleet of thousands. Cade's alliance had barely a tenth of that. But he had something they didn't, unity. His forces weren't soldiers bred for war. They were people who believed in a different future. Former enemies stood side by side, not out of fear, but out of choice. The battle raged for days. The Imperium unleashed war beasts and titans, ancient weapons once used by Drazik. Cade led from the front, disabling enemy ships without killing their crews. His gravity powers shifted the battlefield, turning the tides. Then came the Imperium's leader, General Tazek, Drazik's former executioner. Towering, covered in scarred armor, he confronted Cade on a shattered moon. You are weak, Tazek sneered. Drazik would have crushed this rebellion in hours. I'm not him, Cade replied. Tazek attacked. Their battle shook the moon itself. Light and shadow clashed as gravity waves fractured the ground. Tazek fought like a monster, but Cade fought like a human, clever, resilient, unpredictable. In the end, Cade stood victorious. He didn't kill Tazek. He imprisoned him and broadcast the surrender to all systems. The Imperium fell. The Renari kings entered peace talks. The syndicates scattered. Months later, Cade stood on the reconstructed capital of Vereen Prime. Statues of his father had been replaced with gardens and solar beacons. Varric stood beside him as leaders from across the galaxy gathered. "You never wanted a throne," Varric said, "but you've earned one." "I don't want to rule," Cade said. "I want to help rebuild, one star at a time." He stepped forward not to a throne, but to a platform where people from 1,000 worlds could speak freely. He had been hunted, feared, worshipped, tested, but in the end he chose peace, and the galaxy chose to follow.